You are listening to the Colts Report with Sam Frick and Will Retherford, only on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Welcome, Colts fans, to the Central Indiana Sports for an off-season edition of the Colts Report, which we haven't done in a couple of weeks. We are trying our best to find times to talk about the Colts and all that goes along with it. And there's a lot to talk about right now. I'm joined by our Colts regulars, Sam Frick and Will Retherford. I want to remind everyone that they're just filling in. I'm looking for somebody to talk Colts. If you know somebody or you are somebody who thinks they can do it, 502-533-3161. And even if you don't fit in with the Colts, we maybe find you as a contributor somewhere else. So, guys, please let me start with this Colts report because, and Sam's having all kinds of technical issues. He might be in and out because he's been in and out a couple of times already. But, Will, I'm going to start with my thoughts on what's going on with the Colts. And
okay,
I want to reiterate that I don't think Daniel Jones is a horrible option at quarterback. I don't. Last year before the season, I told you I thought he could be a top 10 quarterback in the right situation. And I still think that, even with the injury. It's possible. But when you sign a guy like that for that much money, you go over the salary cap to do it. You're letting other players go to do it. You're hamstringing any opportunity you have to upgrade at other spots. This team's not good enough to do anything with Daniel Jones. Why are they doing this, Will?
Well, I think that it's a CYA type of situation for both Steichen and Ballard. For those who don't know, CYA is cover your ass. And they found a diamond in the rough with Daniel Jones that they took a chance on him, and it worked out to their benefit. And he's their best opportunity for job security moving forward. That's not the way that you should run an organization, especially from the top down. But that's the way the Colts have chose to do it. So is $37 million a vast overpay with Daniel Jones? Yes. Is this the same issue the Colts are going to have with the Giants had with Daniel Jones when they signed him to a 4-year, $160 million deal? Probably, because he's just not good enough to be able to be competent without good talent around him. The Colts offense, we said this year, was going to be designed in a way that played to his strengths. I thought the way that the roster construction was handled benefited Jones winning the competition, and also it benefited the offense as a whole. I just think that you're going to see some of these players that are not going to be able to be kept because you're paying Daniel Jones more money. Alec Pierce is a casualty of that. I think that's a conversation we'll get into a little later, but yeah, I wish they would not have signed Daniel Jones. I think it was one of those, he's not worth $37 million for 1 year. We're going to be right back in the same conversation, I fear, next year if they're not able to get an extension done.
It only makes sense.
I don't know why they made this move with Daniel Jones.
So Sam,
the research shows that when you tear an ACL,
Sam, the thing is, this only makes sense is if your goal
and at his age, there's no guarantee he's going to be
slightly above average and maybe make the playoffs.
And now they're at risk of losing Alec Pierce
with this move.
I just think it's not a good decision at all.
Yeah, it just makes no sense to me. And I got to be honest, as we lose Sam again, at least he got a word in, right?
Yes.
I just think this is mass incompetence. I think we're at the point where we got to just be asking ourselves, what the hell are they doing? They don't care about being a championship program anymore?
Because I don't think so.
Move. You know what's a better championship move than signing Daniel Jones? Letting everybody go and starting over is a better championship move than signing Daniel Jones.
I agree with that. I said it last year. I thought last year was going to go horrible, and I ended up being right. Whether I want to admit it or not, everybody was talking about how we were Colts haters, and I said for a while after 3 games of the year, I thought the Colts were the best team in the NFL. I still think they were through the first 3 games, but at the end of the day, we said that this past season was going to be a disaster, and it was absolutely true. And I think this season, looking forward, we're staring down the same thing. And if it's going to be the situation where we, sign this transition tag to Daniel Jones, and then we're able to get a a deal done relatively quickly where you can maybe go and say, Pierce, here's the offer we're willing to give you. Do you want to take it or not? I could see a situation where that happens, but it doesn't seem like that Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts are on similar terms of what the contract may look like. I just think this is just going to be sloppy, nasty, and it's just not going to end well for anybody. And at the end of the day, I fear that they may be left without Daniel Jones. They may be forced to trade him because they're just not able to come to terms on what an acceptable deal looks like from his team and the Colts. I hate everything about this move. I so wish they would have given Richardson the opportunity this past season, show what he could do with one more year under his belt, obviously with the eye injury, that a fluke thing that happened. I can't tell you if he's the starting quarterback if that happens, but I hate where this team's at. We're just staring down the same bullshit we've been staring down the last 6 years. The entire Chris Ballard regime. I don't like to call for people's jobs, but I just wish his ass would get canned. I'm so tired of his
I call
ego
for when they deserve to be lost, and his deserved to be lost a long time ago, at least a year ago.
He's a snake oil salesman. He's good with words, and I still think that the reason that the Colts have kept him as general manager is because he is the smartest football mind in the organization.
Have you ever
I really think
press
that
conference of his and thought that's a smart football guy?
I think he's just good at selling people on what he's a politician. He's good at selling people on what they think they want to hear.
Yeah, but when you hear the same thing 5 years in a row, it starts to. You would think the fans have seen through it.
The media is turning on him. The media is starting to turn on him, and I think when that happens, it can get they control the narrative. I just fear that he's going to do this Daniel Jones extension. He's going to get fired when they're not very good at the end of the year, and you're going to have to bring in a new GM who can clean up any sort of mess. It's bad, Greg. This is just bad all the way around. In a division where the rest of the teams are continuing to make smart moves and get better, the Colts are the anomaly there.
And welcome everybody to the Colts Report. Hey, I am going to say something positive about the Colts coming up here.
I also have something positive to say, Greg. I think that we have the same positive thing to, we'll echo chamber back and forth of how smart we are.
By the way, it's going to be positive with a caveat. I hope Sam's able to come back.
I'm here.
Okay, good. Sam, I believe, is with us for good now. Will and I both said we had a positive. Mine is with a caveat. Go ahead, Will, because I think we probably have the same one, but I want to share my caveat.
I think it is so awesome they did not offer any sort of tag or anything to Alec Pierce. That's the best organizational move they've made in 6 years, to be quite honest with you, because signing Alec Pierce to a $25-30 million deal would have been the biggest waste of money ever spent in the Colts organization after Daniel Jones.
Sam?
Yeah, I do too. The positive was when we got in our last draft, when we got our tight end of the future. I mean, to me, that was the best move we made in a long time. At least in spite of all this chaos with Chris Ballard.
There is that.
Yeah, in spite of all that chaos with the Colts, we have our tight end of the future. Or so we think we do, as long as we can keep him happy here. That's the only thing
that's the, let's go.
Yeah. And that's the only thing that's a caveat right now with the Colts is that the more we keep missing the playoffs, the more unsatisfied our players are going to be in the future. And that's something that right now I just feel like Chris Ballard is too focused on the present and too worried about trying to save his job now, as opposed to trying to do the best job possible to keep the franchise stabilized for the future. That's the most important thing at the end of the day.
No, Sam. He swears he's not doing that, Sam.
Yeah. I don't know.
How dare you accuse Chris Ballard of not doing a good job, Sam?
He thinks everything he makes is a good move, but we all see it.
I think he's a dipshit. I've said for 2 years that it's not ironic that the Chiefs were not super good, and then Chris Ballard leaves, and then all of a sudden they're excellent. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think the dude is actually just a sinking anchor anywhere he goes. I think he's full of shit. I think he's full of himself, and I think he's full off getting a high knowing that he's untouchable in this moment because this organization is not built in a structural capacity that can get him fired. I that's how I feel. I think that the Irsay daughters up to this point have done a bad job as owners. I think they have done a really bad job of moving this organization forward, and that's unfortunate because I thought perhaps a changing of the guard may be good for the organization. Maybe get fresh minds, younger, more in tune with the current NFL market, and that's just not happening. And that's what's disappointing is that nobody's come out and said, I don't think they're doing a very good job. It's okay to give them some grace. At the same time, this is a professional sports organization that a lot of people are pouring a lot of money into keeping going in terms of season tickets, in terms of merchandise, in terms of food and alcohol sales at the games. And they're not delivering on their end of the bargain. That's where the issue is.
But, Will, they've been bred for this since they were little children.
Well, that's great.
Let's go back to the positive because I wanted to give my caveat. And the positive is that they didn't pay somebody, $300,000 you just mentioned up, something like that, per catch is basically what they would have been paying Alec Pierce. It's insane to think that you would franchise tag, at best, a top-end wide receiver, too. That's at best what he is. And so at least they did that. The caveat is, if you don't have a quarterback who's average taking up a whole bunch of your salary cap, maybe you can afford to make a move like that and hope that Alec Pierce becomes a bottom-end wide receiver one type receiver.
Can I say something real quick? When's the last time the Colts made the playoffs again? I just want to make sure we remember that.
2020?
Yep. It's been 6 years. And that's the thing right now is at this point, the fan base in Indianapolis has gone through a sense of apathy right now. There has to be more.
They were right in it until the very end of each of those seasons. Come on, give them a break.
You can't guarantee they're going to be good again this year.
No, they're not. They haven't been good. They've been okay. 7 to 9 wins every freaking year.
I've seen that movie before.
Who wants that? Who wants that?
Nobody.
Who wants a franchise that hopes to get in the playoffs? Who wants that? Does anybody want that?
Greg, how long does it take a receiver to become a number one receiver? He's been in the league 4 damn years. He's still not a number one. How many number ones in the NFL today took 4 years to get to that point? I can't think of one. Can you? Can you think of any?
Signing him to a franchise tag would make 0 sense and just completely. But I can't believe there are people actually out there complaining.
It's everybody. And that just goes to show, Greg.
I know. It's insane. And by the way, and we know he's an idiot, and I love him to death, but is he really an idiot, Pat McAfee? Being grateful?
No, not really.
That they signed they're going to sign Daniel Jones? Grateful? Come on. He's a complete idiot if he thinks that.
Alec Pierce, Greg, I could list 30 receivers better than Alec Pierce. At least. Let's go by statistics. Okay, Alec Pierce and Wan'Dale Robinson's last 2 years look awfully similar. Greg, would any Colts fan want to give Wan'Dale Robinson $25 to $30 million? No. It's only because he's a Colt. Greg, Alec Pierce wasn't on pace for some 1,000-yard season until Daniel Jones got injured and Phillip Rivers came in. It was going to be Michael Pittman. And everybody's been on Twitter blasting propaganda that Michael Pittman sucks now and he's horrible and Alec Pierce is the one, this, that, and the other. It's bullshit.
Insane.
It's a lack of awareness. It's just fandom. It's fandom and not being able to reconcile with the fact that Alec Pierce, quite frankly, just is not that good to warrant $25 to $30 million.
There are at least 20 others just like him, Sam.
Yep, there are. And unfortunately for the Colts, because of the predicament they're in today, they're going to have to make a decision. Do they value Pittman more, or do they value Pierce? Personally, for me, Alec Pierce is boom or bust. I have no idea what Alec Pierce is. He may be good. He may not be good. I don't see that value either.
Michael Pittman brings it every freaking week.
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to say about Pittman, though. And this is what Colts fans do not seem to be able to comprehend. I know, loyal Colts fan listeners, you tune into this podcast. I'm sure you're awesome. But let's think critically with our heads for a second, okay? Daniel Jones doesn't push the ball down the field. So if you're going to sign Daniel Jones and he's your guy moving forward, there's no reason to have Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce doesn't make Daniel Jones better. Michael Pittman does. Michael Pittman is Daniel Jones' archetype of wide receiver. Big, able to catch the ball through the middle of the field, physical, great run blocker. That's what the Indianapolis Colts need if you're going to sign Daniel Jones. So you have to keep that contract there. Michael Pittman's making $29 million, Greg. That's the same as Alec Pierce was, and Michael Pittman's production will be double that of Alec Pierce with Daniel Jones as his quarterback. You think anything less than that, you're fooling yourself. You're just not honestly watching the game and seeing how quarterbacks match with different receivers' archetypes.
By the way, $29 million is too much for Michael Pittman too. But
I agree with that. But
that's a conversation for another time. I love Michael Pittman. After Warren, I think he's probably the second most valuable piece on this team. Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's probably so. But I feel very strongly about Michael Pittman, not only as a wide receiver and a run blocker, all the stuff he brings every week, but such a great guy, such a likable guy, brings it. Oh man, why would you want to? So you overpay a guy like that a little bit, okay? But Alec Pierce would make it. Just I couldn't even comprehend it when the first time I saw the headline.
No,
that they're going to franchise. I was like, wait, franchise tag still means top 5 salaries in the NFL, right? Because
average
Pierce is maybe top 50, top 35 if you stretch it.
But
if you stretch it, because he averaged the most yards in the league per catch or whatever. Congratulations, you had 40 freaking receptions or whatever. He is. Made no sense. I think we'll see that, although I'm sure he'll go somewhere else and make some big catches because he is a tough dude who makes catches down the field with good hands. We'll be watching some highlights sometime and going, man, it'd be nice to have Alec Pierce, but not for that price.
No,
It's going to be like Miles Turner. Someone's going to pay him that much. They're going to very much regret that.
And look what happened in Milwaukee.
That's right. But maybe we don't know because Colts fans seem to think this is a bad thing.
Colts fans are the same people that wanted to re-sign Miles Turner too. So
I'm sure
maybe we need to reevaluate the sports IQ of our sports fans.
Hey, this state's full of IU fans and Purdue fans. We have always thought the other people were idiots.
Sitting over here on the sidelines, I can say both of them are idiots because anytime they think either one of those teams has any chance to win, they're fooling themselves. So
I'm an
Ball
idiot.
State all the way.
Idiot. I'm an idiot.
Me too. Admittedly. Pat McAfee, if you're thankful and grateful for Daniel Jones, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot too. It just makes no sense.
Can't wait for August.
Yeah. Hey, maybe they'll go 11-6 this year and win the division and lose in the first round of the playoffs, and we can all celebrate. Because honestly, if everything went perfectly, that's your best case scenario.
Yeah. Yep, it is.
Or they go 8-9 again, and we have the same conversation next year.
That's the most likely thing. I would rather go 3-14.
For the sake of my blood pressure, Greg, I think we might just need to be done because I'm just
we're done.
Just thinking about the Colts just pisses me off.
Next week, off-season priorities. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for listening to our ultra positive Colts Report this week. I promise it will not be like this every week going forward. We will take very seriously the Colts' priorities and off-season needs because who knows, maybe we're wrong. Plus, every time there's a free agent signing or somebody gets away or there's a trade, right around draft time, we will have a special Colts Report. Those were very popular last year, so look forward to doing that for you again this year. Thanks so much to Sam and Will and to you for listening. Please do us a huge favor and share this podcast with a Colts fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. A little negative, but that was a really good podcast. Will and Sam are really good at this. My linebackers, Will and Sam. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.